Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. Was busy fishing. And, well, welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Adventure for PC. Things have been going pretty great here, and we're here to give you a couple of updates. More on the fishing stuff a little bit later, but first off, I wanted to give you a couple of updates as to where we're at in the world. And some really cool things have been going on. So let's jump right into that. So first off, I wanted to show that we are still, well, we're not still, but I came over here to the main island that we first set up our spawn point at, mainly because I wanted to show a few of the really cool changes that have happened since the last episode. So let's go ahead and hop in this boat so I can show you the first major change, or the first major update and piece of progress that we've had. So first off, it's important to know that there's this whole village here, and this was a village that initially was pretty well packed. There were villagers running about in just about every conceivable area, and unfortunately, since we moved over to the new place, it's become completely abandoned. Now, we did have a little holding cell here for a librarian that we'd trained up, but we'll get to him a little bit later, as he's obviously no longer here, but he's still around, so don't you worry. Now, the main thing that I wanted to showcase from starting in this village is actually a little piece of work that I put in that made life a lot simpler, and that is, if we come over this way, I dug a canal between this first little starter area and kind of the open sea as well, and the new base. So it's really easy to transition and travel from one spot to the next. So let's go ahead and zip over to the main house, which you're already familiar with, to showcase a couple more of these changes that have been made since the last time you were here. Now, as we come up to the end of this little tunnel here, you'll see that we've got a fun little dock space, and it's nighttime, so we're actually going to rest up a little bit here. Come inside the house and run upstairs to the bedroom to get some quick shut-eye. All right, so that's update number 1 that we have from our last episode. Now, as you're aware, we've got our little enchanting table down in the basement, which I will showcase in just a moment. But the next thing that I wanted to kind of outline is this big old tower of diamonds, and this slightly smaller, but just as fun little of a yard decoration, tower of emeralds. And I've been able to collect quite a few of those because of a couple of updates that we've had. If you'll see here, we've got a fun little enchanted pickaxe named Harvester. Let me get inside the mine here so I can kind of showcase what that is. So the Harvester pick is a pick that has mending, efficiency 4, silk touch, and unbreaking, which is really super efficient and kind of transforms the whole game when it comes to themes of strip mining. And that's what I want to showcase really briefly here for a moment. So this is some of the efficiency that you can really tend to see with a pickaxe that's been upgraded to that efficiency 4 type level. It's a lot faster than any of your other tools that you might be using. Now, one of the things that I really do like about having silk touch on this pick is it allows me to go through and harvest every type of ore that I would encounter down here in these mines, whether that be standard ores that, yes, need to be smelted in order to make use of, or other specialty ores such as redstone, lapis, even coal and diamonds. Those are all minerals that are made quite efficient by using a silk touch pick and then going back through with a fortune pick to make the most and get the biggest bang for your buck. So I've just given you that quick mining session there, and you've got a pretty good idea for just how quickly this pick operates. Now, there is one thing that I do want to mention before I showcase the next little tool or the next little update here, and that is actually with this little house over here, because you'll see that we have a couple of villagers running around. Now, there's this guy right here. He doesn't have any name, at least as of yet. And then we've got this little guy. This is the Fletcher that you're familiar with from last episode. And as you can see here, this is the haul that we just had from that mine. It's pretty intense, all things considered. But over here, we have our librarian, Dr. Sheldon Cooper, PhD. And he has quite a few different trade offers, but the one that I'm most happy, or the ones I guess I should say that I'm most happy about, is he sells enchanted mending books as well as name tags for 20 emeralds apiece. So that is quite handy and quite useful, especially because we've got mending on this tool and a couple of others as well. And the next tool that I'm going to showcase to you that has mending on it is our other pick here, which is Gold Digger. And you'll see what Gold Digger is meant for here in just a moment. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get any diamonds on this mining excursion. I'm holding on to these ones until I've got 64 blocks, mainly because I'm not hard pressed for extra diamonds right now. But right here real quick, let's go ahead and pull out this gravel. There we are. So let's go ahead and put one piece of gravel down here. Now I'm doing something similar with the emeralds, though I don't know that I'll hold on to them until I have 64 of them. But as you can see, there's a quite little respectable block here of the emeralds piling up. That's three full levels and almost a fourth where we've got that 4x4 square of emeralds. And those emerald blocks are pretty hard to come by, as evidenced by the comparative stack of the diamonds over here. But what I'm actually going to do here in this little space is we're going to build up a little tower of our coal, our redstone, and our lapis. Granted, we don't have as much lapis, but hey, that's what we're here to showcase Gold Digger for. All right, so we are up here about on par with the clouds, clear all the way up at level 130. And this is where we're going to start showcasing the features of our pick, Gold Digger. And real quick, so you can get an idea, Gold Digger has almost the same effects as the other pick, but instead of Silk Touch, it actually has Fortune 3, which is a really nice feature to have on this pick. Now I'm going to get rid of some of these blocks that we don't need to make some room in our inventory, because we are going to need room in our inventory. And I think as long as we get rid of the standard stone, we should have enough. Hopefully we have enough space. And that's the iron ore that we've come across while we were down on this most recent mining adventure as well. So let's go ahead and get Gold Digger out and dig our way down these precious stones here. Alright, so as you can see here from my inventory after that little dig there, we've got a lot of resources out of that. Now, I don't necessarily need to use my fortune pick on the coal, but every little bit helps. So, getting a lot more out of that than what one otherwise would. Lots of redstone, which will be really good for building redstone contraptions eventually. And then we got a bunch of lapises here, as well as a decent amount of health restored back to our harvester pickaxe. So let's take a brief second real quick, come over here to this crafting table. So that's quite the amount of materials back from that one mining raid. So we haven't smelted down this iron yet, or this little bit of gold that we acquired, but that's 50 blocks of redstone, 34 blocks of coal, and 16 blocks of lapis with a little bit left over. And if we compare that with the stockpile that we already have, that's almost a full row of redstone blocks. Got a couple hearts of the sea here from some expeditioning that we'd gone on a little bit earlier. And over here we have quite a bit of other resources as well, including some extra iron. And I think I've got some smelted over here, which I do. So let's go ahead and get these divvied up so we can smelt them down further. So while those ores are smelting down there in the furnace, let's go ahead and give you another update as to one of the other things that we've done as well. And for that, we're going to need to come over here to this chest and pick up some wheat. And we're going to go ahead and take out some of this. Go ahead and put this back over there in our mining chest. And let's zip over to the next location that we'll give you an update on. So just here on the other side of this village that we've put together, we have a fun new little contraption. And we've got a couple of cows here, so let's go ahead and get some of them bred with this wheat. Come over here so some of these guys can get in on the action as well. And then I think I've got one more over here. Now, you'll notice that I've not only got these cow breeders here, but over here I've got a little bit of a pit where I've got some more cows. Now, these guys are stashed down here primarily because I have a bit of a gate system that I can use to bring some of these calves down after they have been bred. And that is really quite useful for a couple of different reasons. So let's go ahead and get a few more of these opened up. All right, so that's all of the little ones from up here on this level. So let's go ahead and jump down to where you can see what we've got going on down here. So we've got quite a few, come on, let me through, quite a few of these larger cows down here. And the reason that I have them down here is I've got this fun little sword here, my Slice and Dice. Now it's got sharpness 3, sweeping edge 2, unbreaking 1, looting 2, and mending. And this makes for really nice things, such as collecting good amounts of not only beef, but also good amounts of leather as well, which is handy because we have a couple of librarians that like trading for books. So let's see if we can isolate you. And a few more of the fully grown ones if we can. Okay, you don't want to go anywhere apparently. Alright, but that gives us a fair amount of beef, and let's see if we can breed these two guys down here while they're here. Gives us a fair amount of beef and leather, so let's run back home because it's getting a little dark. So now that we've showcased our cow farm where we can get mass amounts of beef and leather, we also want to showcase a little bit of the farmland that we have. And there's not a whole lot of farmland that I'm exceptionally looking forward to showcasing, but I do like this sugar farm that we've got, mainly because the sugar that it produces is 2 full stacks, or just shy of 2 full stacks every time we come through and harvest it like this. Now, yeah, I know it grows up to, or it can grow up to 4 stacks, but that's just a long time to have to wait for, and it grows up to 3 stacks pretty quickly. So why waste your time and energy? So I think that's all of it. Nope, there was one extra bit down here that we can pick up. So let's run back home, craft up a couple of books. Alright, just like that, we've got a bunch of books that we can sell, and we're actually going to bring this over to our little friend that's over in the hut here. Because wouldn't you know it, Sheldon Cooper, PhD, he buys books for emeralds, and we can get a lot of emeralds from him this way. I think we just sold 11 books. We don't quite have enough for that last sale. But we can get a bunch of really good stuff from him, though my main concern is training up the other... Not this guy, but I did want to just refresh myself on what we've got from him. But I want to train up this guy a little bit. And he has a really nice little enchant at Fire Protection 3 when enchanting a book for 15 emeralds. But I wanted to get him up to his second level. So we can see what other trades he gets, and if there's a trade that is a little more economic. So yes, he will now also trade books for emeralds. So we were going to go for him for that main source of revenue there. And now we've got a bunch of extra bookshelves, so we can train up some more librarian villagers once we get some more space and some more of them bred. Now that's most of the stuff in-house that I wanted to showcase, but there are 2 extra advancements that we've made that I think that you might quite enjoy, and then a little bit of some bonus activity here at the end of the video. We have a little mini game with our co-founder of this little house here, and we'll introduce her in just a minute, but we wanted to introduce you to 2 other things really quickly. Now, the next thing that I wanted to showcase here in terms of large-scale advancements is actually just over this way. Now, this is a fun little project that I wanted to make because of the equipment and the access to mending that we currently have. So if we drop down into this little shaft and head down for a little ways, we open up into a little bit of a chamber. And what this is a skeleton farm. You can see it turns out a large amount of items, and we've actually got a lot more bones out of this. I've taken it back and turned it into some bone meal for use around the home and around the farm. But if we stand here, just on the other side of this wall, we have a skeleton spawner. Now, I modeled this skeleton design after the skeleton spawn XP farm after design by Kaisen, and I'll put a link to his video down below as it outlines not only how to find a skeleton spawner, but how to actually set it up and make it efficient as well. The basic workings of it is on the other side of this wall, we have a soul sand elevator that brings the skeletons up about 25 blocks. It then shifts them over and drops them down onto this hopper, which then sorts their equipment, be it bows, bones, or arrows, into this little dropper here, and we can easily and quickly farm XP. You can get about a level every 2 to 3 minutes using this design and this setup here, which is quite efficient and quite nice, especially because any of your tools that you have mending on, you can just leave one of them in your offhand and sit here and swing your sword with the other and get really easy levels back. As you can see, the harvester pick that we've got in our left hand now is completely repaired back up from the mining session. You saw how far down the health was on it when we first started. So it's really quite an efficient design and works very, very well. So yeah, go check out his video down below. It's super easy and very efficient to follow and set up on your own. Now there is one tiny little other thing that I wanted to showcase before our little introduction here at the end of the video, and that has to do with this enchantment table that you see behind me. Now, by all senses of the word, it's not any super fancy enchanting table. I mean, it's at level 3, or at least it appears not to be a super fancy enchantment table. And as you can see, I don't have the levels, and I actually don't have the lapis on me right now to get this enchant on this iron axe, but that's not what I was wanting to showcase. What I actually want to showcase with this table is it has a little bit of a hidden secret. So if we walk over here to this little switch and we pull it, and then look back over here, lo and behold, the enchanting table has been subjected to a pretty drastic change. We've got the floor blocks that have popped up around it, and if we throw that same tool in, we can get a 3rd level enchant with only 8 levels required. And that is a really, really cool little thing. I know that I picked up this design from one of the hermits from Hermitcraft. I can't remember exactly who I saw this from, but it is from this most recent season, season 7 of Hermitcraft. So shout out to the overall design for this, as I wasn't able to find who came up with it, but it's a very, very efficient way of conserving some of your levels to get some pretty decent enchants on your tools. Granted, they're not as powerful, but a 3rd level enchant is a 3rd level enchant, and that's pretty nice, especially for as cheap as that ends up being. So without further ado, let's jump into the little introduction that we have here at the end of the video. I hope you enjoy. To kind of end off the video today, I wanted to actually introduce you to my friend Kat. Say hi, Kat. So I know I mentioned this in a previous video, but Kat is the one responsible for coming up with and building the house design. So that looks really good. She worked really hard on it, and it came together very well. And we're actually going to play a little bit of a game that we came up with. And Kat, you want to go ahead and explain the rules?
Yeah, sure. So I'm sure you can see on Pseudo's side, but we both have some special fishing rods. So we're going to kind of have a fishing competition of sorts. And I've decided to call it Go Fish.
Aptly named.
And yeah, as the sign says. And the points are going to be based off of how rare the items are. And so we're going to decide on a number of items, like how many things that we reel in. And we will see who earns the most points based on what we reel in. And so here are the basic points for stuff. So if it's like a mob drop, so like string, rotten flesh, bones, anything that killing a mob above ground would get you, it's going to be worth 1 point. 1 point, as well as any fish you reel in, whether it's pufferfish, tropical fish, salmon, cod, any of them. They will be 1 point each. Random stuff, I decided as if you reel in like a bowl, like for soup, or a tripwire, or just some minor things like that. Plain gear is if you were to find anything that's not enchanted, basically. So if you reel in a fishing rod that's unenchanted, or armor that's unenchanted, all of that is going to be 2 points. If it's enchanted but used or broken gear, it's going to be worth 3 points. If you get really unenchanted gear, hasn't been used, it's 4 points. Cave finds are what I described as if you reel in saddle or a name tag, things like that, things that are rarer and you typically find by a spawner or in the strongholders, things like that. And then shells and books is if you reel in a Nautilus shell or an enchantment book, they're worth 6 each.
Okay. And the way that we're going to play this is catch for catch, correct?
Basically. So we're just going to catch the same number. We're going to just throw out the same number of times, reel in the same number of times until we both have the same number of items.
Okay. Catch for catch, and 10 items was kind of where we had thought.
Yeah.
All right.
10 sounds good for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of your game design, so let's have you go ahead and have the first cast here.
Sure, I will certainly do so. Let's hope you don't keep having beginner's luck like you did earlier.
Well, I'm not going to get a name tag on every first cast.
That was ridiculous. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. Come on. Oh, here we go. We got 1 fish. Do we want to just go back and forth, or just each person go through theirs?
Yeah, we'll go back and forth, and after these first casts, I'll probably just kind of edit out all of the cast time between, just to get things moving a little quicker.
Okay.
So here we go.
Yeah, let's take this. Oh, there it is.
And that didn't come back to me, but I'll go get it.
Where did it go? Oh, is it a tropical fish?
Nah, it was just a cod. But that's 1 and 1, so I think it's your turn again.
Here we go. Oh, here we are. Cod. Man, what did we just get nothing but fish. Eventually, if we both get, you know, like luck of the seas and stuff like that, like really, really good rods, we could raise the stakes a little bit.
And more cod.
Good thing for you that I decided that all fish were worth 1 point. Because, ooh, did I get that? Yes, I did. Got a lily pad.
Hey, there you go. Is that
8.
constitute
That's
as...
a random stuff.
That's what I figured.
That's a random stuff.
More cod.
Ooh. How are we doing now? Ooh, the sun's starting to set.
Yeah. We'll probably resume in daylight after this cast here.
After your next cast?
Yeah.
Ah, not a cod.
Gonna cast
Okay,
out
let's
this
see.
way.
We're halfway. Wait, no,
No,
we're not.
we're at 4. This is cast 4.
Yeah. This is 4th cast.
Tropical
Ooh!
fish.
Finally breaking your pattern.
Yeah, but still worth 1 point is all. All right, so just to briefly recap, we are back after a night of sleep here, and I think you're ahead by 1 point because you got a random stuff drop, and I've just got fish.
Yeah, I got a lily pad, and that put me 1 point ahead.
Alrighty, well this is cast number
But
5.
we've built 6 casts, so I mean, it's anyone's game still.
This is true. So cast number 5.
Cast off. Ha 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 ha. Come on. Ah, another cod.
Well, I'm gonna cast out this way because no one's done that yet.
Ooh, switching it up. Let's just hope it doesn't throw what you get far away again. I'm just surprised we haven't seen any salmon yet. Oh.
That's some leather boots, but they're damaged. So that is
But that
random.
falls under playing gear.
Playing gear?
Yeah,
All right, that ties us up.
we're tied.
Tie it up, going into cast
Perfectly
6.
halfway.
This is true.
All right. I'm gonna sneak right over the corner here. Get far in the deep zone. Ah, another cod.
I mean, it's better than nothing, so let's see. Let's
Kind
go
of.
out that way.
I almost wonder if we should set chests. Maybe that'll be another thing for Go Fish too.
That's salmon.
That's 1 point.
Yeah.
It's a fish.
But it's salmon. It's a fish we haven't seen yet.
Our first salmon since we played. Yep. Already.
Maybe that'll have to be something we factor in for Go Fish 2 is first time catches for the game. Like a first time catch
Maybe.
bonus.
Maybe. That might be a Go Fish 3 thing.
Speaking,
Unlike that cod I just got.
I was going to say, speaking of cod,
Yeah.
I think I'll take a page out of your book, come over here to fall off.
Good job! You have the grace of a ballerina.
Yeah, I try. Let's try that.
Who knows? Oh,
Third time's a charm, right? This is where I catch a name tag.
this is where I catch a name tag. Or you get another cod. Oh, that's cute.
Puff a fish.
Your first pufferfish! Okay, this is cast number 8.
Yes. Still all tied up.
Yep. Oh.
Oh no!
I just got a nautilus shell!
That might be the catch that
It's 6
changes the
points!
tide of the game.
It's 6 points!
And I got another pufferfish.
Oh. Pufferfish.
Yeah.
By the way, what is your XP level at now?
Mine is hopefully after this catch going to be up to 17. Pufferfish number 3. So
Oh, really? For a second, I thought it was a name tag. I was like, ooh.
no.
All right, final cast.
Final cast.
Here we go. Woo.
That was eventful.
It it's just, appropriate timing, that's all. That went great. Ooh, something coming. Real quick. Ah, salmon. I gotta go out to get it.
Well, this is where I need to catch a nautilus shell to at least tie. Anything else is gonna...
If we tie, we're gonna do one more catch.
True, but this is like my one chance to force overtime. Nope, just more cod.
Yay! You know what? We'll just put this as the fact that you were working on the farms and stuff like that, and I spent that entire time fishing.
All right. Well, after that uneventful fishing, well, at least uneventful for me, fishing trip, this is all of our spoils. Everything worth 1 point except for these nice leather boots that I'll never wear. But over here, we've got a bunch of other stuff, and that's a victory by at least 5 points. No, exactly 5 points. So, congrats! You did a good job. So let's come down here to the basement for some official coronation business.
Awesome.
So you're probably wondering what this big thing is, and this is in the wrong.
Yeah.
This is in the wrong spot, so it kind of. There we go. Now that looks better. So.
You're concerned about how things need to be aesthetically pleasing for me.
Well. Sure. Okay. So. Back here we have. We have a bit of a throne, and since you are the Go Fish champion, it seems only proper to give you a goldfish crown to wear upon your Go Fish throne. So yeah, at least for the time being, you are the champion, the queen of Go Fish. But that's not going to last forever because we're going to do this again sometime, and then I will get to sit here.
Yeah, sure. We'll see about that.
Well, thanks for watching another episode of our little Minecraft adventure here. The video went a little bit longer, but I think there was a lot of really, really cool stuff that we showcased in today's video. So if you're enjoying this series and this content, please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, and we will see you in the next video as we have content coming your way on a daily basis. So subscribe if you haven't already. That subscription is free and easy. Thanks again. You have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.